Okay, so this is going to be a quick little video on how to calculate marginal cost. Marginal cost essentially is how much more is it going to cost us to produce one more unit of output. That's essentially what marginal cost means at the end of the day, is how much is it going to cost us to produce one more unit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go through the calculations. The mathematical formula for marginal cost is the change in total cost divided by the change in output. So what we have here is we have the output column and the total cost column, and we're going to go ahead and find the change in total cost, then the change in output, which is also known as total product, and then from there we can find the marginal cost. So what we're going to do is first off we're going to find the change in total cost. Well, the change in total cost is how much has this number changed from this number. So in order to do that, we simply say equals this, the new number, minus the old number. And whenever I say new and old, I mean the next number in the sequence. So if we do the change here, we see that this, from output of 1 to output of 3, you have changed the total cost by $7.50. Well, now we need to know what the change in total product was. So we see here that we've increased from 1 to 3 units in total product. So we'll say equals 3 minus 1. So now we say that whenever we increased our output by 2 units, our cost is increased by $7.50. Well, we want to know how much the next unit is going to cost. How much it's going to cost us to produce that next unit. So what you have to do is you have to take this change in total cost divided by this change in total product. So now that we see as we increase output from 1 to 3, if we increase our output from 1 to 2 units, it's going to cost us $3.75 more to produce that second unit over and above that first unit. And as we go from that second to that third unit, it's going to cost us an additional $3.75. So you can go through, and I'll kind of go through this next one again. Essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the change in total cost. So we're saying equals this number, this new number, minus this old number, this what it was in the previous period, I guess you could say. So here we have a change of $7.50 again, but now we need to see how much output is changed by. So we come over here and we say this new output minus this old output. We see that the output is now changed by $3. So what we need to do is we need to find how much has this changed per unit. So we'll take this change in total cost divided by the change in output. And now we see that each of these in between this 3 and 6 units, if you go from the 3 to the 4th unit, it's going to cost you $2.50 more. And we can do that all the way down, and essentially we'll find you can drag this down and the formulas automatically calculate, and we can find the change in total cost, and you can take this and divide it down as well. You can find the change in output. Now all of these total costs are the same simply because of the way we have the equation set up. This may not always be the case. So you need to go through and you need to calculate the change, and you need to calculate the change in total product. So then you can kind of come down and just calculate all of the marginal cost. So that's essentially how you find marginal cost. It is the change in total product divided by the change in total cost divided by change in output, or change in total product. Something else to notice. These lines right here are left blank. The reason that they're left blank is you have nothing to compare it to. This is a comparative number. It's comparing this row to this row. And since we don't have anything above this row, there's no zero output number that we have listed. We have nothing that we can compare this row right here to. So as a result, we're going to leave this top line blank. Now, whenever you're actually doing this project, I really don't want to see change in total cost and change in total product in there. I don't want to see those columns. This is used as an example to kind of show you how to calculate it. whenever you're calculating marginal cost, we get rid of these two columns, and now we're going to be left with, say, marginal cost is the next one in line. What you can do is you can say equals, open parenthesis, this new total cost minus the old total cost divided by the new output minus the old output. Now make sure that you pay attention to these parentheses. If you don't put these parentheses in the right place, what happens is it starts throwing everything off. And because of orders of operations, you need these parentheses in here. So what we essentially did is this formula says we're going to find the change in total cost first, divided by the change in total output. So if we press enter, it gives us that 375. That's that same number that we had before, but with a lot less columns. After you find that number, you can simply drag it down. So the purpose of this video is not just, it's mainly to show you how to calculate it, but it's also meant to emphasize the fact of what marginal cost really is. It is the change in cost as you increase your, as you increase your output level by 1. It's how much additional cost you're going to incur. So the purpose behind it is the reason we match up total cost, our marginal cost, to marginal revenue, and that's profit maximization, is if, for example, let's say that this additional unit is going to cost us $4.96, and our total revenue, or our marginal revenue, the revenue that we receive off that additional unit that we produced, is $4.70, for example. So we're going to just say marginal revenue, which is equal to the price, is $4.70. We drag that all the way down. Well, first off, we're never going to produce at this level because our output begins to fall as input rises. And that we will never produce there, because that means we can decrease the amount of input we use and actually increase output. So we don't produce in this area. So let's say, for example, that the cost of producing this unit, this going from 1 to 3 units, every additional unit is going to cost you $3.75. But yet you can receive $4.70 in revenue off of it. Well, what that leads to is revenue minus cost. Is it saying that off of each additional unit you produce at that level, you're going to receive 95 cents. So if you can receive a profit off of it, you're going to keep producing more. So right here you receive a profit. Here you receive a heck of a profit. It's saying that as you increase output from 3 to 6, for those 3 units, each one of those units, you will receive $2.20. So essentially you're going to receive $6.60 more in profit as you increase from here to here per unit. This is all on a per output basis. So we keep increasing, and now we get to this point where right here it's we're still earning a profit. So it's saying produce more. Your costs right here are less than your revenues. So if your costs are less than the revenues, it's saying you're earning a profit off of it, and you should produce more. Then we get to this point right here where you still earn a profit, but a very minuscule profit. And then if you try to produce more than 12 units, you go up to 13 units, for example, now your profits begin to fall. It's saying that your cost, the cost to produce that one more unit is $6.25, whereas the revenue is $4.70. So for you to produce that 13th or the next unit, to produce one more unit above $12, or for above 12 units, it's going to cost you more than what you're actually making off of it. So you receive negative marginal profit. This is the profit per unit. So we're going to call it marginal profit, that profit per unit. So what you want to do is you want to maximize your profits by producing where MR equals MC. And the reason for that is the amount that you put in is exactly the amount that you get out in terms of cost and revenue. And you're not giving up any profit, nor you won't be giving up any profit, nor will you be incurring more costs than necessary. So that's the purpose and the calculation behind marginal cost, and essentially a little bit on marginal revenue.